This video will show you how to create a very simple HTML web page. The intentions of this video is really just to help you understand what HTML is. See, when you go to a website, you are downloading an HTML file from a web server, and it comes down to your web browser, and your web browser displays the HTML file. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a simple HTML file and open it up into our web browser. Now, I am starting with a folder that I created right here, and I put two JPEG images of an alpaca and two JPEG images of a cat, and then an MP3. That's actually me on saxophone. So now if you don't see the .jpeg or the .mp3, probably because your file extensions are turned off. And I recommend turning them on because when you're working with files, so if you just go here in the File Explorer, if you just go to the View menu and then make sure file name extensions is checked. Okay, so now I'm going to use Notepad. So Notepad is just a real simple text editor that is on Windows. If you're on Mac, you could use the built-in text edit, but you could use any text editor. Okay, and so we're going to create the HTML file. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just save it to start with. I'm going to save as, and I'm going to name it, how about david.html. Okay, so make sure it's named .html. You don't want the .txt extension. And then hit save. Now, if we look back here at the File Explorer, you'll see here's my, of course, there's nothing in it, david.html. The little icon next to it is the default browser on this computer. Okay, so now back here in Notepad, so let's start by creating our web page. And again, this is to help you understand what HTML is. So HTML has a lot of tags in it. A tag is some kind of command within a less than and greater than sign. So get used to typing those. So we start an HTML document now by doing the less than, then the exclamation point, and then doc type space HTML. Okay, so this specifies that this is going to be an HTML document. Okay, then underneath that, another HTML tag. And again, when I say tag, that means, I forgot the L, that means that the command is within a less than and greater than sign. Now, most of the tags, when you start it, you begin the tag just like that, and then you end it, I'm going to skip down a few lines, with a /HTML. Okay, so that basically means the HTML document begins here and the HTML document ends right here. So the / means ends. Okay, now within the HTML document, there's two sections. The first section is called the head. And I'm not going to do anything with the head. That's where you can put meta tags, like put the name of the author and what version and things like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do a /head. Okay, so that just means the header begins here and it ends right here. So I'm just putting it in there so you can see, but I'm not going to do anything within the header. Now, the second section is the body tag, and that's where our text goes and pictures and everything. So I'm going to start with the body tag, and then I'm going to skip down and end the body tag right there. So this is where our web page will go. Okay, so again, here we have the HTML tags. Within the HTML tag is the head /head and then the body /body. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and put hello world. Hello world, like that. Okay, so there's some text that we've put. Now let's go test it to see if it works. Okay, so every time I make changes to my web page here in Notepad, then I need to save it. And so, you can do a file save, or I just do the Control S right there. So on the keyboard, I do Control S, and that just saved it. So it updated it right here. Now, back here in my File Explorer, I'm going to open it. I'm going to double click on it and open. And so now you can see that web page, Hello World. So see, this is my web browser right here, which you can use your browser not just to pull HTML web pages from the internet, but to open up one locally that you've created right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to make changes over here in the notepad to the document. I'm going to save the changes, then I'm going to come over here and refresh. So it's Friday. So see, I just type some more text. I'm going to do a Control S to save it and come over here and hit the refresh or reload the page. And so now it updates it. Okay, so now let's start with doing some more stuff in here. Okay, first of all, this body tag. Everything that we do for our web page that's going to display needs to be within the body and /body tag right here. Okay, but now the body tag has some attributes that we can put onto it. And we do that by doing a space after body and then saying style equals. Okay, so now we can do lots of things. For example, we can do a background color. So within quotations, style equals background dash color, colon, I'm going to go black for the background color, space, and then I can do color. And it's color, but that means the foreground color, the text color. And let's go, how about beige? Like that, and semicolon. So after each one of those, do a semicolon. Then I'm going to do a quotation right there. Okay, so now I'm going to, let's see if we have the black background and beige text. So I'm going to save it, Control S, and come over here and refresh, and there it is, black background, and is that beige? I guess looks kind of white. Okay, now let's add some more stuff. Let's change our font. By default, it gives you this Times Roman font. It's pretty small. So let's change. I'm just going to drop down to the next line. You can do it on one long line if you want. And so here, I'm still within the style right here. Let's do font dash family. And this is where you specify the font. I'm going to use Calibri. That's a nice generic font, semicolon, and then font size, colon, and I'm going to go, how about 16 point? Okay, and so again, this should just be one long line really. So I'm going to save it and come over here and refresh, and there it is. So now we've got a better font, a little bit larger right here. Okay, so now let's talk about some more. Let's start talking about the tags that we can put here within the body. Okay, first of all, you can do usually paragraphs you'll put within the P tag. That means paragraph. And then when you're finished with the paragraph, you end it with the /P tag. So I'm going to put that in a paragraph, and then I'll put this in a paragraph. End it with the /P tag right there. Let's save it and refresh. And so you can see I've created two paragraphs, even though there's just one little sentence in each one of them. Okay, so that's what the P tag is right here. So now another thing you can do is the heading tag. Okay, so H1 is a head, that's the largest heading. And I'm going to end it with /H1. So let's take a look at that. Save. Refresh. So notice that that's very large. And then you can have a little bit smaller heading, H2. You can go on down, H3, H4, H5, and end it with /H2 heading. So you can see that that will make this a little smaller heading right there. Okay, so there's some headings for you. Now, let's say on the paragraph, we can change a style for a paragraph or for a heading. So let's just do a paragraph. And so I'm going to do a style that will override the style that I put in the body tag up here. P style is equal to Let's make color, how about salmon? Oh, by the way, if you want to know the names, you can specify colors different ways. I'm just doing them by these names right here. By the way, if you just Google HTML color names, then you'll get the huge list of all these color names right here that you can use. Okay, HTML color names. Okay, so now that, again, that will override. So this paragraph is a different color. Now I'm going to end it with a /p in that paragraph. Okay, so let's try it out. So there we go. This paragraph is a different color because this style, this color right here, overrode the one that we put up here. Okay, good. Now let's talk about some more. I'm going to do another paragraph, P. Let's talk about some more formatting. Okay, so let's talk about like boldface and italics and that kind of stuff. So to do, let's see, I'll go, this is bold, this is italics, this is underlined, this is highlighted. And then, of course, you've got some more tags. You can do superscript and subscript, for example. And now I'm going to /p. Okay, to end the paragraph. Okay, but now to actually make it bold, I'm going to make the word bold. So I'm going to do a B tag, and that will begin the bold, and then the /B tag ends the bold. The I tag begins italics, and the /I tag ends italics. And you guessed it, the U tag begins underlining, and the /U tag ends the underlining. Now for highlighting, you do mark, the mark tag. So mark to begin highlighting and /mark to end it. Okay, now I'm going to Control S save and come over here and refresh. And so here it is. This is bold, this is italics, this is underline, and this is highlighted. Okay? Okay, so now let's talk about a hyperlinked. You know, it wouldn't be a web page if you didn't have hyperlinks or links in your page. So let me just how about let's say click. I should put everything into a paragraph, I guess. Paragraph. Click here to go to Google /p. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn the words, the phrase click here, into a hyperlink. Okay, so now to do that, let's first start out with the easy part. You end the hyperlink with a /a. Now to begin it, this is going to be a little more lengthy. In fact, I should probably go ahead and make this a little wider so we can see it. Okay, so to begin the hyperlink, let's go A space href, hyperlink reference, equals, and now within double quotes, you're going to put the full URL of Google. Okay, and so the URL, you can actually go to Google in your web browser and then copy it from the address bar up here, copy and paste it into there. That's probably the best way to do it. But a full URL will have the protocol, HTTP, well, everything's secure now. And then I'm just going to go google.com. Oh, now another thing about this is since I'm doing a black background, see, let me save it and refresh it. That comes out kind of dark because by default hyperlinks are just kind of a medium blue, and so with a black background it comes out a little dark. So I'm going to make it a little lighter, so lighter color blue so we can see it better. So I'm going to within this after the href, I'm going to put another style. style equals, and then the color, which is text color, let's go cyan, which is a lighter blue. And remember, this is still within the less than and greater than sign. Okay, so now let's save it and refresh, and so that's a little bit more visible. Okay, and test your link. Click it, and bam, I go to Google. Now I'm just going to hit the back key and go back here. Okay, so this is how we do a hyperlink. Okay, now let's talk about putting in a picture. So again, remember I had two pictures. I have cat 1, cat 2, and alpaca 1, alpaca 2. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so when you click on one of the pictures, it changes to the next one. Okay, so let's first put the cat picture in there. To put a picture in here, what we are going to do is img image space src source equals, and then within quotes, cat1.jpg. And just like that. Okay, now this assumes that your image is in the same folder as your HTML page. Okay, so my HTML page right here and the image is right there. Otherwise, it will not come up. Okay, so now I'm going to save it and let's go refresh. And there it is. Okay, now I'm going to make this image a little smaller. So what I'm going to do is add a couple of more attributes on here. I'm going to say the width is going to be equal to 200, like that. And then the height is equal to 200, just like that. Okay, and so now refresh it, and so you can see now it comes up small, like that. Okay, now watch what I do now. I'm going to add another attribute, and this is actually a JavaScript event handler that says onclick. I'm going to make it so when you click on the cat, it changes the image to the cat 2. So onclick equals, and then within quotes you need to put this dot src equals. Okay, now at this point you need to use because we're already within the double quotes, the quotations right there, so you need to use apostrophes right there. Apostrophe cat2.jpg. Let me expand it again a little bit more. Okay, and then in the apostrophe, and then in the quotation. Okay, so whenever we have, see, this whole thing's in quotations, but then I needed something else in quotations. So then the inside one, I use apostrophes. Okay, so what that means is when I click on this cat, it's going to change the source from cat 1 to cat 2. So save it, come over here and refresh it. And now I'm going to click, and it works. Okay, now it's only going to do one click. If I click it again, that would be a little bit more complicated to make it go back and forth between the two. So this is just, I'm just keeping this real simple. But if I refresh it again, it goes back to cat 1, then I can click it and go to cat 2. Okay, now let's talk about, I want to put my text to the left of the cat. Well, let me put my other one in here. I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to copy that, and let's go. It's an, I think, wasn't it alpaca 1 and alpaca 2. Alpaca 2. Okay, so let's take a look at it, refresh. Okay, and so if I click on it, alpaca, it goes to alpaca 2. Click on it, it goes to number 2. Okay, so my two pictures are working right there. Now, I'm going to make, oh, by the way, the width and the height, my pictures are square. So if you're using a picture that is, landscape that is wider than it is tall, then by doing this, you're going to squish it. So that's something you need to pay attention to, because you don't want to squish your cat. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to put text to the left of each of these images right here. So I'm going to talk about my cat put text to the left of it, and so the cat will be on the right, and then the alpaca will be on the right. Okay, so now there's a couple of different ways to do this. I am actually going to put it into a table. Okay, so I'm going to create a table, and that says start the table, and I'm going to just indent it a little bit. Well, I don't need to indent it that. And now the next tag is TR. That means start a row on the table. And then the next tag is TD. And I'm just indenting them to make it make it easier to read. Okay, now at this point, the TD means start a cell. Okay, and then I'm going to /TD. That means end the cell. And then I'm going to do a second cell. And the second cell is where I'm going to put the picture. Okay, so I'm going to put the picture right here. And you'll see it here in just a second. Let me indent it a little bit more. And so now right here is where I'm going to put the text. I'll go ahead and just put it over here. HTML, when you put extra spaces in there, HTML just ignores it. Okay, this is a picture of a cat. If you click it, you will see another cat. Okay, let's just try it. Let's try it like that. Or let me just go ahead and do my other one. Okay, so that's going to be the first row. Now, the second row will be my other one. So I'm going to start another row. Actually, I need to end this row, /TR. So this begins the row, that ends it, that begins the cell, ends it, begins the cell, ends it, ends the row. Okay, so now let's create another row, the second row, and then two cells, NTD, copy and paste, and then let's end the row, and then I'm going to end the table. So hopefully you can try to figure out this formatting right here that I've done. And now my second image I'm going to put into here. I'll go ahead and indent it over. I need to expand it even more. Okay. And so then this will be where the text is for the alpaca. This is an alpaca. Okay, and so, you can write a whole paragraph there. Okay, so let's save it and take a look, see what it looks like. Control S, come back over here, refresh. Okay, and there it is. So see what I've done. This is within a table. See, this is the first row, and this is the first cell of that table, which the TD, remember the TD/TD, that's the first cell. Okay, so the first cell has the text that has to do with the cat, and then the second cell has the image of the cat. Okay, and so then down here, then that ends that row. Now TR begins the second row right here, and TD begins the first cell in that row. And so there's my excuse me, there's my text. This is an alpaca. And then in that cell, begin the next cell, and then put the image of my alpaca there. And then in the second row and in the table. And so there we go. Okay, now let's go to a sound clip. Okay, remember I have an MP3 right here. Sound clip. davidsachs.mp3. Okay, to put that in there, I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to type some text. This sound clip is me on saxophone. I'm going to do a BR tag. BR skips to the next line without putting an extra space like you do with the paragraph. And now to actually integrate that sound clip, I do the tag audio space. Controls will give you the play and pause and stop button on the screen. And then in that tag, then source space src equals, and then the name of your MP3 within quotes, MP3 in quotes, like that. And then type equals audio slash MPEG, like that. End it, and then slash end audio. I know it's a little confusing, everything I've done right here. And that's the end of it. Remember down here we end the body and then end the HTML. Okay, so let's refresh it. And or let me save it and then come over here and refresh. Okay, and so here is, see, here's the controls. You know, when I said put the controls on there, it put this down here. And there's also another tag to have it play automatically, but I think for this, I like just being able to launch it. So then I can click it and start it and stop it and everything. Okay. I'm just listening to myself. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to cover on this one. Let me make sure my notes over here that I got everything. Oh, wait, no, there is one more thing. Let's talk about putting border around a paragraph. So see where this paragraph has a different color? If you wanted to, where is it at? This paragraph has it. Again, I've just put some extra spaces in there. It helps out trying to read your HTML right here. So let's see. Oh, okay. Actually, that's a style. So color is salmon, space, and then I'm going to put border, another style. So border colon 2 pixels, px, solid, and then let's pick a different color. How about violet, semicolon. Okay, so here's a color. Here's a border. It'll be 2 pixels, and it will be a solid border, and the color will be violet. Okay, so save it. Control S. Come over here, refresh, and then there it put that square box border around it. Okay, now I'm pretty sure that's everything I wanted to cover. Let me look at my notes one more. And I think so. Okay, hopefully you will understand a little bit more about what HTML is. The web pages, though, you pull off the internet are considerably more complicated. You know, because they have search engines built into them. They pull information out of databases, and they'll have JavaScript in them, PHP and stuff. So they get quite a bit more complicated. Okay, anyway, have a great day.